All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Walking with J.Beau. As you can see, it's a fine, beautiful day, about 80 degrees. The dew point's about 63, a little uncomfortable, but not quite. I'm sure I'll be sweating pretty good by the end of this one. But as I've always said, it's always good for the joints. We do have some cooler weather coming this week. It's going to dry out, feel less summery. It's that time of year. It's going to be 72 for a high with plenty of sunshine Thursday. 73 Friday with plenty of sunshine. One of those 2 days I'm going to mow the property. I like to have nice comfortable days for that. Might be the last mowing of the year, maybe one more. I mean, one more after that. So we're still watching polling, and we're still watching what Kamala's doing and what Trump's doing. And Trump is going all over the place, working hard. J.D. Vance spoke in Michigan today to a pretty good crowd of people. Kamala Harris is hiding. She's trying to get out of the debate by changing the rules. Trump wanted the muted mics like he had with Biden. Kamala doesn't want that. And if you remember when she debated Mike Pence had all of his facts down and she didn't. And whenever Mike Pence tried to correct her on something she said, she would literally put her hand up, like talk to the hand. And she would say, "Excuse me, I'm speaking. Excuse me, I'm speaking." She kept doing that several times during the entire debate, which was her strategy as a black woman, putting the white man, male, like, "You're not going to talk over me, man." And she's just going to do that to Trump. So Trump wants muted microphones. And you know, might actually get to the point where Trump might just say, "You know what, the hell with it, we'll just have town halls and invite her to show up." Because she won't. She doesn't want to debate. They know she's a terrible candidate and they need to keep her hidden like they did with Biden. And I don't think it's going to work. The media does not have the same influence that they had in the past to be able to pull that off. And especially after COVID and Biden, especially now seeing all the stuff come out about Biden. Now, specifically, yesterday was the anniversary of the disaster in Afghanistan, when we pulled out and 13 Marines were killed. by suicide bombers, or as I like to call them, homicide bombers. Biden was nowhere to be found. Since he stepped down, and this is not a joke, you can look it up. Since he stepped down and decided not to run, he's only been at the White House 6 days. That's what I heard. He's been at his home in Delaware or on vacation. So, I don't know what that tells you. Besides, who's the president right now? It's not him. So, changes have to be made, obviously. And they will be. So here's the deal with the election. The honest truth, Trump is ahead. He just went a little further ahead with RFK, putting his support behind Trump. Realistically, it's probably going to help Trump between 1 and 2 points, because 58% of RFK's voters were people that would vote for Trump if RFK wasn't in it. That's just a fact. They could sugarcoat that whatever way they want to. But there's another percentage of people that would be voting for a third party and not Kamala and not Trump if RFK dropped out. They were voting for RFK. So that's a small percentage out of that. About 10% maybe. Kamala Harris might pick up about 20%, but Trump will get about 58% of those votes. So all in all, the votes will be divided a little bit, but people were going to vote for RFK regardless. And RFK was as high as 20% of the vote in polling a few months ago. And then Biden announced that he wasn't running and his numbers went down. So some of those people already left to go vote for Kamala, or whoever they were going to stick in there. So Trump's still going to get most of those that were going to vote for RFK. There's only about 5% there, so Trump's going to pick up a point, maybe 2 points. The media is trying to downplay it, but we're not going to get any real solid poll numbers. We haven't yet, to be honest with you. We're not going to get those until after the debate, first debate, which I believe is going to happen. Got to have at least one, and Trump knows that, so does Kamala. But Kamala wants to have the full advantage as much as possible, like being on ABC and having the answers, questions ahead of time. Because she's not a mental vegetable like Biden. She'll memorize her answers. And that'll be evident when she's speaking. It'll sound too perfect, like Hillary did 2016. Which brings me to another point. At this point in time, literally, Hillary had a 7 to 9 point lead on Trump in 2016 in the polling. At this same point in time. So Nobody was really expecting Trump to win in 2016. In fact, my older brother and his wife, they watched, they went to bed and they woke up then Trump was president and they couldn't believe it. They really didn't think he was going to win. And, you know, that just goes to prove a point that the way things look in polling, what really matters is percentages, the electoral map, and things like that. Trump won because he stole the Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania states, and they made sure Trump couldn't win Pennsylvania last time. But what's different this year is Kamala is only about a point or two in the crooked polling ahead of Trump, but Trump is actually ahead nationally by about 2 points. So you can shift ahead about 4, even up to 5 points with left bias in the polling right now. But again, the real polling is going to be coming up midway through September, a few days after the first debate. And that's when we're going to see those things. Looks like we had an accident here. Some broken glass, oil. So yeah, it looks like an accident happened. So anyway, so they're going to go through all this rigmarole and put us through hell, basically, until we get to where we're going. We'll know more halfway through September. By then, the polling is going to settle on the RFK dropping out of the race. The debate, the DNC will be in the rearview mirror. The good thing that happened was RFK announced dropping out immediately after the DNC convention had finished. So that stole a lot of their momentum. And if you want to know if these people are nervous about it, go read some of the bigger Democrat names on the internet who are emphatically denying that it does anything. You read their posts and all you can read in it is fear. So that's just the reality of it. It's a big deal. Just to give you an idea how important this is in 2020, out of all the battleground states, Biden won by about 200,000 votes if you divide them all up. I think it was 11,000 something in Georgia, 10,000 something in Wisconsin, and it was like 20,000 to 25,000 in Michigan. So, you know, that's what Trump lost by. This would give him those votes and then some nationally. So it's a big deal. 1% in an election can be the difference between winning and losing. So you can damn well bet that the Kamala campaign is very concerned about it. So right now she's trying to get back in the headlines. And I'm sure they're looking at internal polling, because every time you see a Kamala campaign spokesperson, they always make sure to say, and we are leading, we're ahead. They're not. They've been lying about everything. Making stuff up, and, you know, Project 2025 and all this other stuff. So oh, it is a beautiful day. There's a sure sign of the end of summer. Somebody had a whole bunch of cordwood dropped off. Look at that. They're stocking up there for the winter for the wood stoves. See that? So like I said yesterday, we got ourselves a ball game. Whew, it is warm today. I'm wearing a 3/4 length baseball jersey. Not a player's jersey, but a baseball shirt, you know what I mean? Anyway, yep, so Kamala doesn't want muted mics. And there's only one reason why she would do that. Because she doesn't have the same problems that Biden has. Trump had his mics muted. Remember? That's all they talked about after debates. Somebody needs to mute his damn mic. He needs his microphone muted. He won't shut up. So they mute his microphone, and then we got what we got with Biden. Now, if you mute microphones and Kamala has to talk, what would be the reason that she would want muted microphones, unmuted? She knows the only way she can win this debate is if she gets under Trump's skin and gets him to talk over her and be a bully. Then she doesn't have to talk about her record. So there's that. And she could do that thing I was telling you about that she did to Mike Pence in 2020. Just hold her hand up. Excuse me, I'm talking. I'm talking. So, and you know, you have to remember that Trump is trying to win over the female vote, the women's vote, and he can't set himself up in a scenario where Kamala is going to abuse that. So, hopefully they iron something out that works. I really do. Obviously, we're going to see that. So, that's September 10th. Mark it on your calendar. It's about 2 weeks from now. And the other thing is Trump is going to try to be more reserved and more presidential, which is another good reason to have the mics muted. I think that helps him. Because we all have that thing inside of us, you know, he wants to win. And if you say something to him to insult him, he's going to want to defend himself. That's human nature, and they always pit that against him. And I will admit, in 2020, that debate against Biden, he should have held himself back more and been more disciplined. But Trump is Trump, so that's what we got. Across here. Two nice fellas sitting in their garage, enjoying the day, shooting the breeze. Friendly neighborhood. I got a nice gentle breeze today. That's nice. It's really nice, actually. Well, I love that new Trump ad that shows Kamala Harris talking about food prices and the price of beef has doubled and all this other stuff. You know, like she's running against an incumbent. You know, and that's what kills me about it. It's like, how dumb of an idea was that by the Kamala campaign? To have Kamala have a speech talking about that stuff. The cost of putting your kids back in school this year for clothes and school supplies. And, you know, it's like, she's in the White House now. It was the Biden-Harris ticket. These are all policies Biden put into place that she supported. So she's not going to get away with, she's just simply not going to get away with that tactic. To blatantly just come out and say, oh, the price of this stuff has gone up and I can fix it after being in the White House and being part of someone that caused it. It's just unbelievable that they could be that arrogant and tone deaf, but you know, apparently they are. So yep, now I got sweat coming on my eyebrows. They're working on that barn. I can hear a radio. Radio is something on the way out, by the way. Several radio stations this year have shut their doors, turned off their antennas. They are no longer economically viable as a business. Internet is where everybody is now. So That's just how it is. You can look at it like something new is destroying the old, but you know, there was a lot of people that were emphatic about how cars were an abomination, gasoline-powered vehicles. They were never going to amount to anything. And I have used the old buggy whip analogy many times to describe that. Companies behind the curve don't survive. And what I mean by the curve is the trend curve. And there was a company in New York. They made a huge fortune in its day. They were the leading manufacturer in buggy whips. And you sit on your buggy with your horse team in front of you, and you have a buggy whip. That company had board members, and it had people that said, you know, well, our data shows that automobiles are fad. It's just for a certain group, and it's never going to be anything. Sounds crazy to think that way today, knowing what we know about cars, but that was the thinking, and the company didn't change, and they went bankrupt. So, some people try to equate the same thing to, well, that's the electric vehicle market. People clinging to gasoline-powered cars. So, that is yet to be seen. I'm all for reducing pollution and carbon in the atmosphere, but I'm not firmly convinced that's the main driver in climate change. I'm not even completely sure that I trust the science that climate is changing by man, caused by man. I really don't believe that. I just think the climate's changing, as it has many times throughout our history. So this is nothing extraordinarily insane a concept. Oh, the llamas are out. The alpacas are out. I gotta get back across the street. Oh, don't go inside yet. I want to see. There it is. Right there. Right outside that open door, alongside that barn. It's a white one. Oh, look at it. I wish it wasn't hiding around the corner. I can't go walking on that property and say, could I look at your llamas? We'll have a repeat of the friggin' chicken coop. Oh man, it's right behind that rock wall hidden in the back. They got a whole pen out here. Let them play. I want to see. Oh, shoot. Maybe some other day. Dadgummit. Well, we got some red-orange leaves there. It's coming soon, folks. All these trees are going to be turning all kinds of colors coming soon. You're going to be happy about walking with J.Beau. That's a hint of it right here. See that? Doesn't that look cool? There's some people in the country, they don't get any leaf changes at all. No seasons. The only seasons they have is either really hot or comfortable. Or it's raining once in a while. So anyway, we're doing really well. I'm focusing a lot on this election coming up because I understand how important it is, and I hope people take it as seriously when they go vote. You got to take people with you who aren't used to voting. I recruited at least one I know of, a family member, to vote. So, anyway, ooh, I'm getting warm now. We're at 2 miles. Yeah, we're hearing acorns fall out of the trees. Leaves are starting to turn. It's going to be a high of 72 Thursday, high of 73 Friday, plenty of sunshine. It's going to be the same kind of weather we had when September 11th happened. I remember that. It was a beautiful, dry, fall day in New England, September 1st, and it was absolutely a perfect day weather-wise in New England till all hell broke loose. So anyway, back to the Afghanistan thing. It seems like the Kamala campaign, probably wisely at this point, has separated themselves from that. The Biden administration posted on their social media something about it, but people were very quick to reply with, "You caused it, blah blah blah," because they did. And we have that infamous photo and video of Biden seemingly being bored when these 13 were transported back. He and his wife there went to the airport, the welcoming of those back to be buried at Arlington. And Biden was looking at his watch. Like, I want to hurry up, and I got more important things to do than this. I need to be somewhere, whatever the case is. It was very rude and disrespectful. And then they have an anniversary ceremony at Arlington, and Biden's out on vacation. Can't be bothered. Kamala lost in the weeds, doesn't care. So Trump showed up and he did it, like a president should. And I think that made a lot of headlines, and it should. So keep the faith with the polling. Don't really trust the polling you're seeing. It is not accurate. We'll know more in about 3 weeks, literally. The debate is in 2 weeks. I'm going to have a few days for dust to settle. Immediately after the debate, there's going to be fake polls that come out that say it was a historically terrible performance by Trump. Kamala was brilliant. She was the best debater to ever debate in a debate. They tried to say that about Biden. There was a couple companies that actually said that. Leading up to that debate, you had all that propaganda on TV talking about how Biden was sharp as a tack. I talk with him often. He's in firm control. He's president. He's strong. And then we see the debate, and that's how much they lie. So Kamala's not ahead, okay? Now here's the good news. She's plateauing, and she's going down in the polls, incrementing slowly. A lot of it's going to hinge on the next 2 to 3 weeks. Don't forget, we got the debate, but then we have Trump's sentencing in New York with Judge Mercant. And nobody really knows what he's going to do. Now, we do know that typically, on average, first-time offenders that get sentenced to a jail sentence, usually they will actually not get a jail sentence. They will get a fine. If they were already in jail, maybe time served, and they'll sentence them to 18 months or something. But a lot of people want to lock Trump up for life and end him politically. And Mercant, okay, because of checks and balances, and he's in the third branch of government, basically he can do what he wants with no repercussions until later. And if he's just going to be one of those mentalities of a sacrificial soldier, he can most definitely sentence Trump to jail. But he will have to do so and also offer for him to be out on bail pending an appeal. Because if he just locks Trump up anyway, regardless, which, by the way, he has the power to do that. I'm just saying that politically, that would really hurt the Democrats the most. Because they do that, this election's over. He's going to gain a lot of support like he did when they found him guilty. Because they know this is crooked. That's really that's really the gist of it. So basically, if it was something like rape or some kind of violent act, and he was found guilty and we saw the evidence and actually believed it, that would be different. Then he would not get the support. I wouldn't vote for him. So those are the kind of things that are going on for that. People know that he did not do the crimes that he was accused of, and that they stitched two crimes together, one that was past the statute of limitations, to make a crime. So on some weird New York felony charge, where if you commit one crime to hide another one, then it's a felony. So they used a crime that had expired as a crime as one of the crimes used, and then they picked a jury in New York, where Trump is never going to get a fair trial in Washington, D.C., New York. It just isn't. So that's just a fact. So people are going to be upset, rightfully so, if he sentences him and denies him bail on appeal, because that'll put Trump, which he's not going to jail, by the way, he'll be under house arrest, Secret Service and national security, also with fresh new death threats from Iran to assassinate Trump. So there's going to be house arrest at a secure, safe location that Secret Service will approve of, and it's not going to be a prison. They would have to empty that entire wing of that prison, house prisoners somewhere else. They're just not going to do that. So the judge can do whatever he wants. He can sentence Trump to house arrest. He can bar him from using the internet, although his crime had nothing to do with that, kind of like they do with child predators who have predatory behavior towards children using the internet and chat rooms. They'll usually prohibit them from using the internet. So I don't think they would be able to actually do that to Trump, preventing him from campaigning from house arrest. But most people don't believe, and I'm talking about the legal experts, they don't believe Trump is actually going to be detained. He is going to be sentenced to a jail sentence, but that is going to be, he'll be out on bail on appeal. Now when the appeal date comes after that, that's really the issue. So that's really the issue, because they can have the appellate court advance that case as a priority because they hate Trump, and we could see the appeal decision, the appellate decision, come down before it's time to swear Trump in, which would be after the election. So either way, Trump will be out of jail when the election happens. That's my prediction, based on credible information from experts. There's a couple of loony birds you see on MSNBC saying otherwise, but they're just trying to generate ratings. They've been wrong on everything. And so that's my opinion on that. Even if the appellate court doesn't rule in Trump's favor and they sentence him to jail, if he has just won the election to be president, I would like to see them do that. He could very well be sworn in while he's in prison. Wouldn't that be funny? He gets sworn in while he's under house arrest instead of in DC at an inauguration, and then just leave and go to the White House and then pardon himself. Wouldn't that be funny? There's been a big argument about whether or not presidents can pardon themselves, but realistically, I believe one could. As an executive decision that's in the best interest of the country, which it would be, because we can't have a president of the United States with full immunity as president for presidential decisions locked up. Doesn't work that way. So this is going to get interesting. Again, we're going to see stuff we've never seen before coming up. So hang on to something tight. We're going to feel like I feel okay about it because I've looked at all the different angles they can take. Basically, everything helps Trump. The martyrdom, picking on him, and so it's not like that video we saw recently with people stuck on the top of a Ferris wheel during a storm with lightning and pouring rain, and people could have died up there. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want that kind of excitement. But this is good excitement. All of this is good. They're doing this to him because he's a threat. He's legitimate. He's in it. You know? And if he had dropped out and decided not to run a year and a half ago, you know, we'd have a whole different thing right now. DeSantis probably would have been the candidate, which I would be voting for him for sure. But so what we're going to see, Trump wins, okay? We're going to have RFK as one of the administrative top advisors in the White House. We're going to have Vivek Ramaswamy. We're going to have Tulsi Gabbard. We're going to have a lot of people with a lot of experience and a lot of intelligence and a lot of patriotism in the White House. And if the feeling of that doesn't give you a Woodrow, then nothing is going to. Because right now, the White House is being run by a bunch of Marxists who we don't even know who they are. They're not household names. They're just radical activists. So this is going to be great. We're going to win though, but chances are Trump's going to win. That's the thing. That's the main thing you need to stay focused on. I explained this yesterday. Kamala, despite having her ahead in the polls, which she's not, she's still only about a point or two above water, where at this same time in 2020 Biden was ahead 7 points. As I mentioned earlier, Hillary was ahead 9 points on Trump. Biden just barely won in 2020. People need to understand that. It was not a blowout or a rout by any means. The swing states that he won were by 10,000, 11,000, 20,000. It was very close, and that was with all the cheating. So, yeah, they're going to cheat again. They're going to cheat again. But the difference is Trump is clearly leading even in their suppressed polls. And what I mean by that is they have Kamala ahead by a point or two, but that's where Biden was. And Biden was I mean, this is going to sound strange. You might give me some controversy for it. If you don't agree, then say so in the comments. But Biden is still a better candidate for the Democrats than Kamala Harris. Yes, Biden had a bad debate. The party decided to get rid of him because they didn't like how the polling looked in their internal polling. Now, we never got to see the internal polling. They were probably pretty bad. But they're not good with Kamala either. They got a temporary boost, but now this leveling off, and she's not that much far different than where Biden was. So that's just a fact. I mean, the numbers are there. Anybody can go look at it, research it. So the odds are heavily favoring Trump to win, despite what looks like at times fear-mongering polls. People get like a nervous pit in their stomach. You know, they're like, oh, what if that's true? It's not. Okay, it's not. It's all BS. The reality is Kamala has to win Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and at least one Sun Belt state, and she has to win North Carolina to win this election. You go to 270 to win and make your own electoral map. You can click on the 2024 projection, and they have the toss-up states left blank, and you can do your own shifting around. They only filled in the states that are pretty much guaranteed to go to Kamala and pretty much guaranteed to go to Trump. Then you can fill in the rest. So Kamala has to win a lot more states than Trump does. The most interesting video clip I saw yesterday was Don Lemon on MSNBC. Now, MSNBC, as you know, absolutely hates Trump. They hate Trump with a damn passion. And they had Don Lemon on there because obviously people had seen his videos on the internet. And they asked him, said, you know, because most of the people he talked to was voting for Trump. He was talking to Hispanics, Asians, black people, some white people. Almost all of them were voting for Trump. That included gays, everybody that he ran into in New Jersey on the boardwalk. He also said they were on their way to Pennsylvania and to Philadelphia, and they were stopping here and there and doing these live, you know, Kamala or Trump, who are you voting for? Almost all of them were voting for Trump. And it was not in a conservative area. That's the key thing to this. So what does this mean? And I don't know what this means. Is the polling so far off that they're actually missing 70% of the people voting for Trump? Is that possible? Is it possible to have another 70% landslide like we had with Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon? Don't know. It's pretty strange. It's strange because that's what we're seeing when people go out and interview people. I don't know. I don't know how bad the polling is. They're using the same models they did in 2014. Things have changed. Technology's changed. You've got TikTok, social media. People aren't watching the media as much. Who the hell are they polling? You know? Who are they polling? We already know that they tilt to the left up to 5% sometimes. So anyway, they had Don Lemon on MSNBC as a video clip of it. And that woman on there is trying desperately to get information that he also, you know, like this was something that he planned that way, and he's not showing the people that supported Kamala. And he said, no, that's, generally speaking, he said 7 out of 10 people were voting for Trump. That's black people and even a couple people that are Democrats. And it's the economy. Don Lemon said it's the economy. People don't have money, they're upset. He said it's not Ukraine, it's not Afghanistan, it's not any of that stuff, he said. He said it is that. So here's that hole in the road. You can see right down in there, quite a ways. It's hollowing out in there. I sent them that video clip of this. I haven't heard back yet, but it's clearly getting worse. Some more of this asphalt right here came off. I'm guessing it's about maybe this big. Right here. That's what it looks like in there. So that's pretty bad. I hope they send somebody out here to fix that. So I sent them a video clip of the location of it, showing those signs and where it is in relation to it right there. And you can see it's dipping more than it was yesterday. That gives out when somebody's driving through there. That's going to smash some axles, cause accidents maybe. Anyway, I did my part. If nobody does anything to fix it, they'll have to tell somebody in civil court why they were told about it and nobody did anything to fix it. I sent them really good evidence, good video clip. It's on my walk the other day before yesterday. So anyway, Don Lemon was on there on MSNBC, and he said they were just headed towards Philadelphia, making pit stops on the way, and 7 out of 10 people that he talked to were voting for Trump. And he goes, I don't understand it. And the people on MSNBC didn't understand it either. She looked very worried. And that's because they're in their media bubble, and they have their polls, and they're not out talking with the people. And I got a feeling they're going to have a rude awakening this election. And they've done it to themselves. Don Lemon hates Trump. Make no mistake about it. He absolutely hates Trump. But that's good on him that he posted those videos. And that should make a lot of Democrats very nervous. They've gone too far, they're going too much, and people don't want the United States to turn into California, and that's exactly what Kamala Harris brings to the table. I've said it a long time ago, the American people are not going to elect a Marxist unless that is hidden from them because they don't know who she is. And Don Lemon said the biggest problem that he ran into with talking to these people, besides the economy, the other thing they said is they don't know who Kamala Harris is. She's been vice president and nobody has seen her. So they hid her away because she's a moron and cackles like a demon. And now people don't know who she is. So I'm only reporting what I know. Okay? For real, factual. That really happened. And that goes against what the polling says, I guess is my point. Which is why I mentioned it. Thankfully, with the Electoral College, California and New York City aren't electing people for us. But we have to keep illegals off the census as a stat to determine how many representatives each state has. Because that's based on population and districts. And they're not citizens. So they shouldn't be included in that population, even though they are a part of the population. If you get my meaning. Can smell some manure. Smelled that yesterday too. Probably smelling pigs again. It's probably what I'm smelling. How are you? That guy looked like a Trump supporter. Had a USA flag do-rag on his head. Dead end. Well, let's not go down that way. Whew. Yeah, I got people running their AC today. Yeah, that's, you know, I was just thinking about that. That's, you know, that's what I do when I walk. I think about these things and I just talk about what I'm thinking of. So we just hit 4 miles. So, you know, it's like, why would these people, 7 out of 10, in a traditionally liberal area, you know, New Jersey is not a Republican state. It's been heading towards being Republican, but it is still very much a blue state. I don't anticipate Trump winning there at all. So it's really strange to me that 7 out of 10 people, randomly speaking to Don Lemon, of all people, are voting for Trump. Very strange. If you have any ideas what that might be, I'd love to hear it. There's something that explains that. Other than the obvious, that Trump's more popular than they're making it look out to be. And they're making it out to be, I should say. There's that wooded plank road that we went down a couple days ago. I'm not going to go down there today. The hills look humid today out there. It's all hazy. Definitely feels like a summer day today. Might be one of the last ones. You know, that's why I'm enjoying this today. It may very well be one of the last ones. Supposed to get some rain tomorrow, mid-70s. Thursday and Friday is 72, 73, bright sunshine, so that means it'll be cool Canadian air, basically. Probably be in the mid-50s overnight. So we got a little bit less than a mile left for this walk. And I'll wrap things up with you. So you can see some Americana here. Somebody left a really long burnout all the way up the road. That's a pretty good one. Look at the length of this one. I would have liked to have seen that. That's something fun to do when you want to cook the rest of your tires off when you buy new tires. And then you want to kill the old ones before changing them. So look at the sheer length of that burnout. That's a pretty good one. Big league burnout. We'll cross over and use the sidewalk across the street. Whew. I'm sweating pretty good. Got a breeze though. Yeah, I've been trying to wrap my head around that since yesterday. Because you know the mathematical odds of Don Lemon interviewing 100 people and 70% of them are voting for Trump. The mathematical odds for that are pretty damn low. Very bizarre. Then we got this friggin' guy who's an old man now, and he's still trying to look like he's 30, wearing a bow tie. That's the first sign of a man being a liberal, is they wear bow ties. Anyway, this guy, Professor Alan Lichtman, he said he's holding off on predicting a presidential winner until after Labor Day. And I already know he's going to say Kamala's going to win. This guy's been wrong twice, okay, since the 1980s. He has his set of keys he uses, as he calls them, that if this certain amount are in this person's favor, they're going to win the election. And I saw an interview with him last week, and he's talking about the polling and stuff. You know, he said he uses the RCP average, which is the one I told you guys should check out. And those are wrong. Those numbers are wrong. So some of what he's deciding, he's using gut feeling mixed with those polling and also facts. And he keeps treating Kamala like she's not an incumbent, and she is. She's the friggin' incumbent, and the economy's in the toilet. There's no way a rational human being would say that Kamala's gonna win. And I just know that he's gonna say she's gonna win. Because he doesn't like Trump. He's also made that known. So the media is going to throw all these people at us. Now if they would come out and say something, you know, like he's been right 100% of all elections, anyways, we're going to be winding down the walk soon. We passed 4.5 miles a little while back. We'll be coming up on 5 shortly. This flying grasshopper is going to be the stupidest one I've ever seen. Fly to the left. That way. He's going to keep landing in front of me and he has to fly again. How stupid is that? Bye. Bugs don't have any brains. Peacock! So the mainstream media has been trying to get that information from this professor who he's predicting to win the election. And he said, I'll wait till after Labor Day, but right now it's leaning towards Harris, he said. So that was with the DNC and that wave that she's riding and these fake polls. So this freaking guy's using polling. The basic fact is, out of all of that, is Kamala is an incumbent. She's an incumbent. She's in the White House now, and she's running for re-election. So he can paint that whatever he wants to, and try to say that has nothing to do with his keys. He said the other thing that factors is military problems, disasters. Everything that's going on in the Middle East right now is a disaster. The Ukraine war is another one. So, you know, he's looking at it like these are all positives for Democrats, and it's not. We have seen nothing normal this year. His keys don't account for prosecutions in New York of a political opponent. It doesn't include any of that stuff. Three weeks ago, he said he was going to wait till after the first debate. And now he's going to issue after Labor Day. So, I don't know what he's doing. Wouldn't that be funny if he came out and said Trump was going to win? That would be wild. But he was wrong in 2020. He said Biden was going to win, and they cheated. Biden did not win clearly or decisively. All right, everybody. Had to put in a new battery. We'll be coming up on 5 miles. I just wanted to say thank you for walking with me. And hope everything's good for you, and you have a beautiful rest of week, and we will see you on the next walk. Click like and subscribe, share the content, and I just really want to thank you very much for checking my channel out once in a while. And we're going to be doing some fun shooting videos this weekend, hopefully, and so that content will be coming soon. Anyway, God bless you and your family, and pray for America. We'll talk to you again soon on the next walk, folks. Bye-bye.